What's good, y'all? Told y'all I was coming right back, didn't I? We here today for Cherish Today, Season 2, Episode number 5, Rivers Have Banks. Episode starts out with Sunday and her dad fishing. He's telling her about how he used to take her fishing as a child. And the reason he started doing that is because her mom had said that he couldn't take her out there and teach her how to play no football. She wasn't allowing her daughter to play no contact sport, but he could take her fishing. And once he started doing that, he realized how much peace comes with sitting out there at the water fishing or whatever. A peace that he couldn't get from any other thing. She feels something, so she's like, oh, I caught something. She stands up, go to reel it in. And he said, who taught you how to fish? And she was like, you did, Daddy. I said, oh, God, he didn't flip that fast. Like he was having a lucid moment, and now just that fast, he didn't went back. So we see them at home. We see a lady leaving. I'm guessing it was a lady that they were interviewing to be like a caregiver and to look in on him because, as Sunday explains, Daddy, we need to get somebody else in here. He was like, no, I got you and I got Lynette. I'm good. She was like, I'm not here in town all the time. And Lynette got other things that she has to do as well. So we need somebody to be here with you on a regular. He was like, I don't care what you say. I don't care who you bring in here, whatever. But I didn't like that lady. So no. So she just like, she's exasperated. She offers him something to drink. She goes to make the drink. We see Ellis. Ellis is over at that property he bought from the lady that he said he was going to fix up and sell it and give, give half the proceeds to the lady or whatever. He over there doing that, working on that place. Looks like some tile he has laid out and he's fixing it a certain way. Excuse me. So we see him call Sunday's phone, leave her a voicemail that he wants to talk. He hasn't talked to her. And we go back to Sunday's dad's house. And they're in the kitchen. She's getting him something to drink. And he comes in and says, I'm hungry. She looked at him like, we just finished eating. We had avocado. I think she said avocado and lentils or something like that. And he was like, no, I'm hungry. I said, oh. It's like more frequent coming and going, okay? In and out of lucidity. So the phone rings, he answers, he talks to the person or whatever. And next thing you know, he goes to pass her the phone. When he passes her the phone, it's Ellis. He asks her, can she meet him at the bridge in about 20 minutes? She was like, sure. So she goes to meet, and he was just like, you know what? Wow. I wasn't sure you was going to meet me here after what happened last night. So at this point, I'm like, oh, okay. So it's the very next day after Anastasia burst in on them. And she was saying, even though that was hard and it was unexpected, because, I don't like surprises. I said that I was going to start seeing you, and I agreed that it was going to be hard, and I was willing to work through it. So that's what I'm doing. This is part of the working through it. He was like, you don't have to worry about that anymore. I took the key back from her. And she was like, okay, cool. That's fine. He's like, and I also wanted to invite you to family dinner. I'd like for you to meet the girls. She's like, okay, that's cool. All right. They go on to have a picnic. And they get up from the picnic and they start walking through what looks to be like a bazaar or like a like a farmer's market. Look, they walking through, And he also mentions that Anastasia and her I don't know what Danny is to Anastasia at this point. If they're just boyfriend and girlfriend, engaged or whatever, but Danny and Anastasia will be there. He was like, but it's cool because it's what we always do. And like I said, I want you to meet the girls. We play games, we listen to music, we cook together, we do all these different things together. She like, cool. So then, as they're at the bazaar looking at all the different things, she starts picking up stuff because she was saying she can't meet his kids without having a gift for them. Because he was like, you don't have to buy them anything. She was like, no, I don't want to go and meet them empty handed. And so she starts buying different things. And as she's doing that, he's looking at her. And to me, the look is, I'm falling more and more for this woman day by day. Look at her buying stuff to try to please my kids, you know. Um, and he hugs her, he kisses her. He actually tells her she's really good with kids and stuff like that. But I'm thinking in my mind, you saying she's good with kids, but are you also thinking that one day you like to have more kids with her? Is that what you're thinking? I'm not sure. So Sunday, Lynette, who we've just found out, well, I just found out, is her cousin. Lynette's her cousin. They're sitting at the table with Sunday's standing. Lynette and Mr. MV, Sunday's dad, are sitting at the table talking. Sunday says, did you let Lynette know that you fired another caregiver today? And Lynette's like, you know what? I told you he was gonna be okay with somebody coming in here doing the work and stuff. So he looks at Lynette and was just like, you know what? Tell me about the boys. Like, what's going on with your sons? So she let him know what's going on with her sons. They tell Sunday she looks beautiful. She's got her hair pulled up. And she has a pretty little sundress, a spaghetti strap sundress, printed sundress on. It's the night of the family dinner with Anastasia, Ellis, Danny, and the girls. So she heads to the living room to kind of like get her purse and gather her things so she can head out. And Lynette meets her in the living room and is like, so, you going to meet, have dinner with him and his wife. Sunday's like soon to be ex-wife. So Lynette lets her know, listen, call it what you want, but I just want you to know and be sure about what you're heading into. Because no matter what, at this moment, she's still presently his wife. Sunday's like, yeah, but she got a whole boyfriend and her boyfriend's going to be there. So Lynette just lets it be and was just like, okay. As long as you know what you're getting into, I'm good. Sunday, at the same time that these two are having this conversation, we get scenes of Alice actually being over Anastasia's house. He's in the bedroom with his eldest daughter, Everlie, and they're doing some Tai Chi. She's showing him some Tai Chi, and they're doing that together. Sunday shows up, and she's greeted at the door by Danny. Danny has a little joke, and he seems to be like a cool guy, right? She hands him some flowers as she comes in bearing the gifts. She has like some wine, I believe, and the gift for the girls. Um, he yells out like, Sunday's here. So Ellis turns to Everlie and is like, come on, let's go meet Sunday. She like, cool. He heads out to meet Sunday. Everlie goes over to her bed, picks up her headphones, and her phone and puts music on in her ears and sits down on the bed. I said, oh, here it is. She gonna be the difficult child. Now your mama has already moved on, as you can see. Maybe you got hopes that your parents gonna work it out and your mama gonna leave the guy she's with. But your parents are happier apart, honey. But I guess that's something hard for kids to grasp. So Alice comes out, he hugs Sunday. Um, he's like, Anastasia, this is no, he's like, Danny, this is Sunday. And he takes Sunday into the kitchen, introduces her to Anastasia. Anastasia was like, give me a hug, girls. Nice to see you again. Nice to meet you. And the youngest daughter comes in and introduces herself. She was like, hi, I'm Bria. She gives Sunday a hug. Very pleasant little girl. She asked Sunday would she like to come and see her room. And Sunday's like, cool. So she goes into the room. Sunday's like, oh, so this is your half of the room because the girls share a room. So Bree's like, yes. And they sit down on these little ottomans in front of a dollhouse. And Sunday compliments the dollhouse, saying that it's nice and that the little girl must be an interior designer with the way her dollhouse looks. So Bree lets us all know that her dad built her that dollhouse when she was 5, but she doesn't play with it that much anymore these days. So she gets to asking Sunday about her name, asking her if it's is she named after one of the Greek gods, because she's into mythology and Greek mythology, and she's been reading up on it and stuff. So Sunday's like, no, it's from the Egyptian gods, Egyptian mythology, and it means life, giver of life, life force. And it kind of fits me because what I do, I give people food, I feed people, and that's a life source, making sure people eat well. She like, oh, cool, that's a cool name. So she gets up and goes to the computer, and she tries to research her own name, and she's very unhappy with the results because it says her name means either eyebrow or some kind of soup. And she was like, "Ugh, mine's awful." And Sunday gives her a nice little nugget of wisdom and letting her know that you give your name meaning. So what I told you is a story that I came up with on my own to give my name meaning, the meaning that I wanted to have. So it's you who gives the name meaning, not the meaning you live it up to the meaning that you see on the internet or whatever. So the little girl's like, okay, cool. They head back to the kitchen, and Sunday's like, so what are you cooking? And we see we see Anastasia pass Everlie. Everlie enters the kitchen with her headphones on and music in her ears. Anastasia passes something for something to Everlie to chop, and then she passes Sunday some scallions. And was when Sunday asked what it is that they were making for dinner, she was like, in honor of you being here, we're going with a vegan mac and cheese. Danny's like, I say we just go with traditional, but okay. Like he just joking, he kidding around or whatever. So Sunday was like, cool, that's cool that that you thought of me and decided to have a vegan meal. And as Danny's walking out of the kitchen, we hear Everly say, well, I'm glad Danny's still going to make some burgers. And I was like, okay, so you showing that you going to show Sunday that you not feeling her. That's what it is. And so she puts her headphones on and she starts listening to the music and gets ready to start chopping. And I can't remember if it was her mom or her dad was like, you know what, take those earphones off, put the phone away. She takes them off, has attitude, leaves the kitchen. So we see Sunday and Ellis, and Sunday's telling Ellis the quicker, more efficient way of chopping garlic. And Anastasia's at the stove stirring something in the pot. And she keeps looking over her shoulder, and she's, I guess, in awe of how Sunday and Ellis are with one another, and her showing him, cooking, like how they relate with their chemistry is like she's noticing it. And I forgot to mention, Ellis introduced Sunday as his girlfriend too. So Danny notices Anastasia watching and looking at their chemistry, and he decides to come up behind her and ask her to dance. They're playing music or whatever, so she dances with him for a hot second. And they go to no, he leaves the room after a second, and Anastasia goes back to the stove, and Sunday and Ellis continue on with what they're doing, all into each other. New love, it's new. Sunday heads to the living room where Everlie is already sitting, once again trying to find common ground and engage with her. Of course, Everlie's irritated, annoyed, not trying to get to know Sunday, so she doesn't offer much. They are joined by Ellis, and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." He has the basketball in his hand, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Were you guys talking?" Everlie says, "No." Sunday volunteers, "Yeah, we were just talking about biking." And then he mentions, "Did she tell you we just bought her a brand new bike? She's really into it." But when Sunday was talking to her about it, she was just like, I just basically ride. I got a regular bike. I ride just everywhere, different places." And Sunday was saying that she had joined some kind of biking group, and she wanted Everlie to show her some cool places to ride the bike. But Everlie acted like she didn't know any cool places or whatever. So Ellis has just, put it out there that she does know places and she's really, really into biking. So she was like, "Come on, Dad." And they head out to go shoot some hoops. Um, we see them outside shooting the hoops. And he still isn't really paying attention to the fact that Everlie is not giving Sunday not a choice. She's not featuring Sunday, okay? Like, she ain't into it. She's not giving her a chance. They shoot their hoops, playing around or whatever. And she just is hot. She perks up. She's happy. She's out there with her dad. We see Sunday going to the kitchen to check some curry that she's making. And we see Anastasia is prepping or doing something with the macaroni in the dish that she has. She offers she offers Sunday. Anastasia offers Sunday some wine. Sunday's like, "Yes, I could use some wine." So Anastasia pours the wine, and she was like, "You know what? Let me apologize about the other night. I had no right to barge in on you guys like that. I I called him and he didn't answer, and I did what I normally would do in that case. I just barged on. I just shot over there to get what I was coming for and was gonna head out. And honestly, I shouldn't be doing that anymore. I knew he had a girlfriend. I shouldn't have. I apologize. I shouldn't have done that." Sunday accepts her apology. She was like, "Cool, because I like you." Sunday was like, "I like you too." I was like, all right, so it's not what I thought. I thought that she was doing stuff out of spite and a little bit of, you know, jealousy, a tinge of jealousy, even though she's moved on. But it's not what I thought it was at all. So they sip their wine and stuff, and that's when we see Ellis and Everlie has been joined by Bree, so they out there shooting hoops, all three of them together. And then we see Sunday come outside. And as she's walking out, she sees them three doing a secret handshake. And when he turns and he sees Sunday, he looks at the girls and he's like, "What y'all think? Should we show Sunday the secret? Should we teach her the secret handshake?" Bree's like, "Yeah, sure." Everly has no words. She just, she annoyed. She ain't feeling it. He still does not mention it. He does not say nothing to her about it or anything. He just heads over to Sunday, teaches her the secret handshake, and like I said, Everlie looks on in utter annoyance. Sunday gets the handshake, and just as she gets it, Anastasia comes out and announces that dinner is ready. So, Everlie and Bree are setting the table for dinner. We get a knock at the door. Everlie says, "I got it." She goes to the door. She's texted her little, I'm guessing he like her boyfriend, and invited him to dinner. He comes in, says hi, and Ellis introduces him to Sunday and stuff. Just before the doorbell rang, Ellis is telling Everlie that there's, I'm guessing is some famous basketball player, female basketball player. He's telling Everlie that Sunday knows this person, and Sunday is like, yeah, they come to my restaurant all the time. Maybe I can introduce you. And she's just like, yeah, whatever. So Jesse comes in, and they start to bring out the food. And just before they do that, Anastasia is like, Everlie, won't you head into the kitchen and get the stuff for another place setting since Jesse's here? So when Jesse comes in, I notice Ellis gives Everlie a look like, what the hell? Like, why'd you invite him here? So when she heads to the kitchen to get the place settings for Jesse, Ellis follows her in there. It's like, what are you doing? You knew we were having a special dinner to introduce Sunday to you guys. And she was like, okay, but he's special to me. And Ellis is like, yeah, maybe so, but this was just supposed to be family. She said, yeah, but you invited her. Like, basically, like, she ain't family to me. I said, oh, wow. They head back to go sit down and have this dinner. They're sitting there. Sunday offers Everlie some of the curry. So I'm guessing she made curried eggplant and sticky rice. She offers some to Everlie, who's sitting across the table from her. Everly's like, no, I'm good. Bree was like, it tastes good to me. And I really like the sticky rice. And Sunday's like, cool. My sticky rice is my way of getting kids to actually eat the eggplant or whatever. She like, cool. So we also find out Bree then went back into the room and Googled some more about her name and found another meaning for the name Bree. She looked it up under Greek mythology. And she comes back with a new meaning. And Everlie is like, well, your name's not actually, your full name is not Bree. Your full name's Aubrey. And she was like, okay, that's boring. I just wanted to look up Bree. And I feel like Everlie is over Bree being so enamored and really giving Sunday a chance. So they start to eat and everything like that. And they get to talking. And Sunday's just like, you know what? I got you you guys some gifts. And she looks at Jesse, Everly's friend, and is like, would you mind getting them there on the chair or wherever they were, and my purse? And he was like, cool. So he brings the bags with the gifts. Bree opens hers. It's the young adult book that Sunday was checking out. And she was like, it's a book with black authors I hope you get to learn about. Some authors that you might want to check out or whatever. Because your dad told me you were so into books. And she was like, cool, thanks. I really like it. So Bree opens hers. She's not enthused at all. And she was like, what is it? And Sunday's like, it's a baker's box. Because he let her know. Ellis let her know that Bree was Everlie was into baking and she liked sweets or whatever. And she was like, I figured you could use it to, come up with your own concoction or things to make. And maybe I could actually put it in my restaurant and VFC. And she was like, cool, thanks. And you just slammed it down on the table like it was nothing. And Danny at this point volunteers like, ooh, cool. Yeah, since you so famous now, I seen you on, he mentions he seen her on the Tanya Holland show. And he wanted, when he come in town to Atlanta, can he get some VIP treatment and, coming to the restaurant. So Sunday's like, cool. Yeah, you could be treated like VIP or whatever. And Ellis was like, I didn't even get the VIP treatment when I was there. And when he says this, Everlie is like, wait, hold up. When did you go to the restaurant? You were there when she filmed that show? Is that why you couldn't take me to my game? And he was like, first of all, I don't have to clear my calendar with you. Second of all, it was a freaking scrimmage. And third of all, watch your tone. She catches attitude and was like, you know what, can Jesse and I be excused? And so Anastasia was like, yeah, all right, go ahead, go. Because she's sick of her at this point, too. She's sick of her attitude. She being real bratty right now. So she gets up and picks up her plate, and Jesse heads with her. And Anastasia was like, take your gift that she get you. She was nice enough to get you a gift. Take the gift with you. So they take it in the kitchen, and we see her and Jesse having a conversation. And Jesse's like, why are you acting like this? Like, she seems cool. She's nice. She was like, so what? First it was Danny and now it's her. So that is it. She had hopes that her parents was going to get back together. And she was like, it is not fair. Who need parents anyway? And she threw the gift in the trash. He was like, why would you do that? Get that out of the trash. Why would you throw her gift in the trash? And as she did that, Sunday walked into the kitchen and seen it. And Alice walks in behind her and like, what's going on here? And he looks and he sees the gift in the trash. And he was like, young lady, what's your problem? He's about sick of her shit too. And he was like, you know what? Tell her thank you for that gift because she didn't have to do that. And get it out of the trash. She looks at him and doesn't budge to take it out of the trash. She says something slick and marches off. He apologizes to Sunday and he takes the gift out of the trash. In the meantime, Anastasia has entered the kitchen and seen what's happened. And she was like, you know what, Ellis? I got this. And after she entered the kitchen and Everlie refused to take the baker's box out of the trash, Sunday walks off. And like I said, Anastasia is off to have a chat with Everlie. So I think I forgot to mention that while they were sitting at the dinner table, Bree asked Everlie how old was she when she met her dad. And Sunday says, we were younger than Everlie and Jesse over there. And Everlie responded with, yeah, remember dad said she's an old friend, like being nasty about it, I forgot to mention that. And after that question, Bree goes on to ask, does she think that they'll get married eventually? And again, Everly's annoyed, and Ellis answers with, we don't know. It's a little too soon to be saying that or talking that. But right now, she's my girlfriend and I like her a lot, basically. So then now they now Sunday is sitting on the front porch, cooling off from the exchange in the kitchen with Everlie and seeing Everlie throw her gift in the trash. Ellis comes out and sits next to her, like rubs her face to give her some reassurance, like, I know this is harder than we thought or anticipated, but I'm still here and I'm still in this. So he sits next to her and we hear some music start to play. And from the melody, I thought I was about to hear Mars, Marzz. Um, what did the, she has a song. What if I give up on us? What if I give up on love? Something, and this, and it's the way she said, "Fuck you." Like I never heard the words "fuck you" sound so pretty in a song. But I thought that's what was getting ready to play in the background, but it was someone else. And it definitely wasn't the Mars song. I'm not sure who's the artist of this song that was played, but like I said, the music and the melody in which the lyrics are sang, it gave me Mars. I thought it was Mars' song, but it wasn't. So, Ellis and Sunday head for a walk, and they end up sitting on a bench across from some water. They sitting in the park across from some water, and Sunday's like, so I heard Danny went through this as well. He had a hard time with her as well, and Alice is like, yeah, and she said, well, how did y'all get through it? He was like, we just did. Time went on, and she started to ease up, and she came around. He was like, please forgive it. She's a very sweet girl, but she's a teenager. And Sunday's like, cool, like, I get it. I know where she's coming from. She's a teenager, and she's also a daddy's girl, and she thinks she's losing her dad. Alice is like, yeah, but just because I love you does not mean that it changes the station and where I have her in my life. I still love her. She's still my little girl or whatever. And I'm just going to have to explain to her that that'll never change. Like, she's always going to be my little girl. She's still daddy's little girl. And my love for her won't change. So Sunday's like, cool. And he gives her a key. Because she was like, I noticed that you called me your girlfriend. And he was like, yeah, I hope you still decide to stay and stick this out with me, even though it's difficult at times. She was like, I'm not going anywhere. You called me your girlfriend. Don't think I missed that. And he was like, okay, cool. And that's when he handed her the key to his place. She was like, I get keys now? He's like, yeah, you get the keys. And they kiss. And we get back to the house. They head back in. It's time for desserts. So we see Sunday, Danny, and Anastasia setting the table for dinner. I mean, for the desserts. And Alice comes out of the room. It's like, all right, let's get this started. And Sunday's like, where's Everlie? And he was like, we had to talk. She'll be out when she's ready. And Anastasia was like, Anastasia, is apologizing to Sunday once again for Everly's actions. And Sunday's like, it's all right. It's cool. So Jesse seems to have a really good relationship with the whole family. And he comes out of the room with Bree. He helped Bree's into Legos. So they built the rocket ship with the Legos. They come out, they show off the rocket ship. Followed by Everly. Everly comes out, looks at Sunday, apologizes. Sunday's like, it's okay, and pulls her in for a hug. Everly is like flat armed out like this. Like, she doesn't want the hug. She clearly does not mean that she apologizes. She's apologizing on behalf of her dad because probably he talked to her, told her she need to apologize, so she got to go through with it or whatever. But we can tell she still ain't feeling it. So they all sit down, and he's like, come on, so we can play charades. And the episode ends with them all around the table getting ready to, play a game of charades and just have more family time together. And I'm guessing this is the start of a new blended family. Like their love story is coming along. I'm wondering after this episode, will they go on to, will Alice and Sunday go on to start a family and have another baby? Because since Sunday does never had any kids, does she even want kids? What's going to transpire? Because this is only episode number 5. I think this show gets 5. I think they get 10 episodes in a season, and if I'm not mistaken, it's either 10 or 8. So I'm curious to see where this story is going to go. What's going to happen with Sunday's dad and her restaurant? Will they continue to have a long distance relationship or not? Like I'm really curious to see where this is going. But so far, so good on this love story. What are your thoughts about the show thus far and dealing with a child like Everlie when you're on your way to divorce but also have a girlfriend and you're introducing your child to your new girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever? Like, do y'all feel like Sunday handled it well? Do you feel like Alice handled it well? Or Anastasia? Like, what are your thoughts on, and what are your thoughts on the show and love and all that kind of stuff like that? I'm curious to know. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button, and I'll see y'all the next time, next week, for the same show, new episode. Peace.